Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 258 based on novel. So let's start. Back then, Luo Feng's Void Pagoda was used purely for defense, and it was considered passive defense. The beast god Hal had formed a beast god that defended the soul passively. It also allowed it to release an attack that could disperse all attacks. This was the active side. But its defensive abilities were shocking. It was obviously a lot more powerful than the Void Pagoda. The cave is collapsing. The Undyings are clashing. The large amount of Eternal Dragon Sector Lords, Domain Lords and Universe levels all rushed out as fast as they could from the caves, becoming tens of thousands of lights. It looked almost like a meteor shower in space, after which they all stood in space and gazed millions of kilometers away. Rumble. Terrifying energy ripples could be felt even millions of kilometers away. Who would dare to attack 12 Undyings at the same time? No idea. The ones capable of doing so in Fog Island would probably only be from the top 13 tyrants, and even those 13, any one of them against 12 Undyings could probably survive, but he'd be disadvantaged too. No one is that stupid. Who knows? We can just watch. They are really going at it there. If we get hit by the ripples, we'd definitely die. The tens of thousands of soldiers were like a blur of locusts, floating in space and chatting, but not daring to head over. 1,000,000 kilometers away. At Luo Feng's level, one dash of movement alone covered a distance of tens of thousands of kilometers. Hence, for a planet like Earth, it wasn't suitable for an Undying level battle. The moment they unleashed some strength, the entire planet would be destroyed. Only the universe secret regions or special places in space could be considered a good battleground. How? Kill him, kill that arrogant and despicable human. The sturdy Ka-Wu Undying wielded two large hammers. He emanated a powerful lightning aura around him with lightning surrounding the area. This was a Thunder Undying. Soul attacks are useless, we'll use our weapons to attack instead. An Eternal Dragon Undying emanated icy cold energy. The surrounding hundreds of kilometers became like an ice god country. Suppress his world projection. Together, the 12 Undyings all released their law domains simultaneously. Their simultaneous release of the 12 law domains clashed against Luo Feng's world projection. The vast grassland however pushed back their domains. This completely stunned the 12 Undyings. They had long heard of his terrifying world projection, where normal Undying law domains would instantly collapse. With the 12 of them working together however, they didn't expect to only be able to withstand the pressure without collapsing, but they were still unable to force him back. Rumble. A large lightning hammer was swung at Luo Feng, almost like an asteroid crashing down. A colorful beam of light slashed at Luo Feng. A huge blade slashed through the space at Luo Feng. 12 Undyings surrounding and attacking him. Ha ha! Luo Feng's eyes were glowing with spirit. Even though he was the smallest in size, with his world projection pressuring the 12 Undyings, his basic movement has long exceeded the creator of the illusionary techniques. His shield was also filled with strength and his blade easily withstood the 6 combined attacks. The surrounding space instantly crumbled. Luo Feng's clash with the 12 Undyings left the particles floating around madly. They began to fight amidst the shattered fragments of space, and some of the fragments even had some land and ground within them. However, these were instantly shattered from the ripples of the battle. He did have to admit though that the 12 Undyings were working well together, unleashing their attacks in perfect combination against Luo Feng. Luo Feng defended against 8 Undyings' combined attacks. His blade slashed through the space, as a blurred beast god image appeared and dispersed again. The soldier armor however wasn't able to completely defuse the attack. Normally, any attack below the strength of 1000 sector lords would completely be diffused, however the moment it exceeded that, the soldier armor would diffuse most of it. The 8 Undyings' combined attacks had far exceeded that limit. Even if a small part of the attack got through, it was enough to shake Luo Feng hard enough to cause him to spit out blood. Luo Feng, battling 12 Undyings is definitely above your limit. Barbata said nervously. 12 Undyings sure is hard. Ha ha, 10 years ago, I had to flee against 8 Undyings, yet now I'm able to match 12 Undyings. Luo Feng spit out blood. His gaze however was growing more excited, however, it's still far from my limits. He's injured. Hurry and kill him. Don't give him the chance to recover. The 12 Undyings roared and all of them rushed at him. I've tried the first 6 moves, let's try the strongest one. Luo Feng became a blur. 3 Luo phones appeared in space. They were exactly like the real body, moving nimbly about in an arc. This was the result of his many years of study in Primal Chaos City. According to the linear universe, the Primal Chaos City left and Beast God runs from 11 Luo duo. Along with the strike travel from his inherited memories, his movement technique had made some progress that his Earth body could use. The moment he unleashed this movement, he instantly dodged the attacks of the 8 Undyings. Ha, let's kill one. Luo Feng wielded his blood shadow blade and gazed at the huge human-shaped Ka-Wu Undying. That sturdy Undying waved his 2 lightning hammers. A beautifully terrifying flash of a blade that stretched over a 1,000 kilometers flashed. Along with it was a huge beast god projection. The edge of the blade was almost like a howling beast god slashing with its claws. The entire beast god projection was incredibly clear and visible, melding perfectly as one with the blade. His strongest move of the 7 new blade techniques was Burial. Even though all 7 moves had been infused with the beast god presence, Burial was still his strongest. After all, he had spent the most time and effort on it. The blade instantly slashed at the huge thunder hammer. It slashed right through the metal and locked off the Ka-Wu Undying's head. Following which, it went down the Undying's body down to his waist. His body was instantly slashed in 2, and during that instant, the blade began to swallow and vibrate. At the same time, countless blade energies shot out and tore through his insides, causing his body to be shredded from within, becoming countless rocks. Die? Luo Feng tossed out a little gold plant that swiftly grew. Countless gold leaves extended out. It was the Undying star-eating plant that made all of the warriors on Fog Island shudder in fear. Stop him. Forget it. Despicable. The other Undyings didn't expect that even under their combined attacks, the star-eating sector lord was still able to use his terrifying movement to completely cause a powerful Ka-Wu Undying to be shredded apart, taking out his Undying star-eating plant to swallow his body fragments. No. Stop him. The other 11 Undyings all gave it their all, madly pouring energy into their lore domains and using their all to attack the Undying plant. With a rumble, the powerful attack caused several gold leaves to break off and the plant began to back off. The shredded rocks of the Ka-Wu Undying instantly reformed. It was obvious, however, he had lost quite a bit of energy. The Ka-Wu race was a rock life form. It used strength to win, and splitting its body was very hard. Similarly, it would lose a large amount of energy every time it broke apart. Bastard. The reformed Ka-Wu Undying howled with rage. 12 of us combined and he still almost killed Long Suo. This is a disgrace to us. Let's work together. Give your all, I'll stop him and you all kill him. The Starlight race Undying communicated. A transparent thread shot out from between her eyes. It instantly grew longer. It rushed straight at Luo Feng. Starlight life thread. Luo Feng was shocked from the attack. He had inherited memories and thus understood much about the Starlight race. The Starlight men and women were all extremely beautiful. They were born with the ability to form a thread from their life core crystal, and the moment they used this, their core crystal would instantly crumble. Hence this was their final move. The moment one became Undying, their core crystal would dissipate and meld with the body. When this happened, they wouldn't die even after using this move. It would still heavily damage them, however, requiring thousands to tens of thousands of years to recover. The transparent thread bent and tried to wrap about Luo Feng. Take the chance to kill him. It's our last chance. Kill him, he definitely has a lot of treasures. The other 11 Undyings raged in madness, even burning some of their Undying bodies. Against the Starlight life thread, Luo Feng's world projection was unable to force it back. Its speed was extremely fast, already reaching close to him. He shouted, "Star-eating plant!" Rumble. The star-eating plant swelled with countless gold leaves extending out. The Starlight life thread was incredibly thin as it followed through the slits of the plant to attack Luo Feng. However, he used the countless gold leaves to try and stop the thread as the other 12 Undyings, including the Starlight Undying, rushed to attack the Undying plant. Rumble. Large amounts of leaves were destroyed and the Undying plant was forced to shrink. Blood River Energy. Luo Feng triggered his Blood River Energy and his connection with the universe ripples became even clearer. Strike Travel. Luo Feng became a blur as he flashed about, his blood shadow blade lit up again and his blade produced a beast god projection. Come on, let's do it. Luo Feng used the star-eating plant to block the Starlight life thread and used his body with the Blood River Energy trigger to fight the 12 Undyings. This intense battle was a great test for his new blade techniques. When the battle first began, Luo Feng was still testing out the power of each of his new blade techniques. Hence, he never once unleashed his strongest strike travel movement. Thus it seemed like he was forced into a corner by the 12 Undyings. However, that environment allowed him to maximize the usage of his blade work to fight back. Once he unleashed his strike travel, he easily destroyed the Ka-Wu Undying. Blood River Energy. Strike travel movement. Luo Feng didn't wish to drag the battle on any longer. His image warped as 3 incredibly realistic images appeared beside him. It caused the 12 Undyings to get shocked as the difficulty of surrounding grew. They began to get knocked away from Luo Feng's attacks and being forced to attack individually. The blood shadow blade pierced forward and a huge cavity appeared in the space. Countless fragments flowed madly as he pierced straight at the beautiful Starlight Undying's forehead. Dutchman's pipe. Luo Feng's blade was like lightning. He flashed forward. One eternal dragon Undying was instantly sliced in half. Dutchman's pipe. Pensive. Nightmare. Reflection. Burial. Hatred. World's end. He exchanged between the 7 techniques. Even though they were helping each other, combined with his exquisite movement and the help of the Blood River energy, he managed to fight back against all 12 of the Undyings, and was even able to slash one of them apart while they were still being covered by the rest of them. They were beginning to fall apart. It was very obvious they were losing and were being suppressed. Not good, the Starlight life thread is broken. The Starlight Undying communicated urgently. The life thread wasn't supposed to appear for too long in the first place. Star-eating plant. Luo Feng smiled widely. The Undying plant madly expanded and spread over 100,000 kilometers. Countless leaves twitched about like teeth and wrapped around the Undyings. The 12 of them roared and madly attacked the Undying plant, making it shrink back once again. However, as they were distracted with attacking the Undying plant, the disadvantaged Undyings naturally welcomed their first tragedy. Rumble. 2 eternal dragon Undyings were instantly torn to shreds by Luo Feng. Their torn fragments were immediately swallowed by the star-eating plant. His blade flashed past brutally. As the 2 eternal dragons were torn apart, the scene immediately caused the other Undyings to try and stop Luo Feng. They were very clear that if they focused on the plant, they would slowly lose more and finally fall. The moment some of them were heavily injured, they wouldn't even be able to hold back the star-eating plant anymore and it would swallow all of them. Let's go. Quickly flee, disperse. The Undyings knew that the battle would get worse for them as it dragged on. They barely saved one of the eternal dragon Undyings before fleeing immediately. The Undying plant was already swallowing one Undying. Flee? Luo Feng glanced as the 11 Undyings fled in 11 different directions. He had no choice but to pick one. Forget it, I'll chase you. Luo Feng waved at the star-eating plant and simultaneously unleashed his strike travel. Within 3 flashes, his speed reached sub-light speed and rushed at the unlucky Undying, the sturdy Ka-Wu Undying, the first one that he actually slashed in half. Why me? The Ka-Wu Undying Long Suo was angry and worried. Stop there. Luo Feng expanded his world projection. What projection was this? An internal world projection. It was a projection of his internal world outside. Normal sector lords could expand their projection up to about 10,000 kilometers. Luo Feng's projection, at its greatest limit, was however able to reach 90 million kilometers. However, if he did so, it would be like broadcasting to everybody my internal world has a diameter of 90 million kilometers. Hence he would never do so. After all, the Ka-Wu Undying he was facing was only a few 100,000 kilometers away from him. Stop there. Luo Feng unleashed his world projection. It instantly engulfed the Ka-Wu Undying Long Suo. World projection? Long Suo was surprised. He felt the powerful force around him. He could still fly, but his speed had a definite decrease. The star-eating plant swiftly caught up from behind. The Undying plant once again bloomed with countless gold leaves covering the entire area. Naturally it engulfed Long Suo too. With countless teeth surrounding him, it made him madly flail his thunder hammers about. Rumble. The leaves withstood each attack. Su. The gold leaves automatically opened a path and Luo Feng entered, appearing before the tall and sturdy Ka-Wu Undying. Human. Long Suo was shocked and angry, but he knew it was over. You cannot kill me, you cannot kill me. The Ka-Wu Undying let out sounds of worry and pain, causing the surrounding space to shake. I cannot kill you? Luo Feng smiled coldly. Give me a reason. Are you a disciple or relative of some Ka-Wu knight? Would I be punished if I killed you? Doesn't seem right. If you had some background, you couldn't possibly not have any treasure at all. Long Suo howled urgently. The official level Undying, the one you call Boulder, is my senior. Boulder of the 12 officials, he is your senior? Luo Feng scoffed. Indeed, there was a renowned Ka-Wu official Undying named Boulder. Very good. Very, very good. Luo Feng nodded. Long Suo's eyes had some hope. Even though he was incredibly huge and this human before him was but a dot, he was clear that this little dot had enough power to kill him easily. Then you deserve to die even more. Luo Feng flashed and his blood shadow blade slashed through space, leaving a huge tear in space. Howl! The beast god projection appeared. Its claws seemed to meld perfectly with the blade as it passed Long Suo, causing him to howl in despair. As the blade reached him, he wanted to self-destruct, but his body was instantly reduced to shreds before it could happen. His self-destruct naturally failed as countless gold leaves swiftly swallowed the countless rock fragments. There was an ancient palace in the burning deserts of Fog Island. No one knew when it was actually built. A majestic 12-meter-tall Ka-Wu Undying was sitting in the throne. He was one of the 12 officials of Fog Island, Fen-Ya, also known by the human Undyings as Boulder. On Fog Island, he was one of the strongest. He suddenly received a distress signal from his little brother Long Suo. Long Suo. This Ka-Wu Undying stood up abruptly. However, immediately after he received a message, "It's the Star-Eating Sector Lord, avenge me." After which, there was no more signal no matter how he tried to contact him. Long Suo is dead. Fen-Ya's eyes were enraged. Star-Eating Sector Lord, Star-Eating Sector Lord. Human, I want you dead, I want you dead. He howled, and it resounded throughout the entire palace. He was furious. Even though they weren't blood brothers, they both came from the same tribe and only one other Ka-Wu clansman from the same generation had become Undying with him, that was Long Suo. Hence the two of them naturally explored together and they both received orders from the upper race, reached the distant Buck clan territory and entered the outer region wars. On Fog Island. Fen-Ya was invincible, Long Suo followed closely behind him. Hence, Fen-Ya let Long Suo join up with his other teams. Star-Eating Sector Lord. Fen-Ya grit his teeth. Undying Star-Eating Plant? It may strike fear in the generals, however 100-vine Undying Star-Eating Plant didn't even bother a true official level Undying. You should die? You will die? He howled, suddenly his eyes gleamed. Spirit imprint? That's mine. I gave an item to Long Suo and now that he's dead, would that human actually take it with him? If he dared to, he's really looking to die. He immediately sensed for his spirit imprint. He rushed into the skies and tore through thousands of kilometers of the desert, after which he swiftly took a ship to head towards where he felt the imprint was. After swallowing the Undying Star-Eating Plant shrank and entered Luo Feng's arm. Special item? Luo Feng carried the 2 world rings, the Ka-Wu Undying special item was within one of them. Luo Feng, he said that his senior was the official Boulder, and Boulder is on Fog Island. It's most likely that Boulder left him a spirit imprint item so that he could come help at any time. This item would very likely be within this bunch of stuff. Barbata said. Luo Feng flipped his hand and kept both world rings. Having it is good. Luo Feng smiled, this Ka-Wu Undying's senior is Boulder. I've spent 100 years here on Fog Island and have yet to meet an official level Undying. Now that I have the chance, I'll use it to draw an official to me, this is a good thing. I really want to see the difference between my Earth body and an official's. I also want to see whether my gold horned beast can kill an official. I'll look for a random place. And wait for half a month, and at most 1 month. If Boulder doesn't show, I'll return. Luo Feng said. With a flash, he flew tens of millions of kilometers, looking for a cave. He entered and began to reflect on the battle before. The battle had given him much inspiration and honed his new 7-blade techniques. After all, these 7-blade techniques would continue to improve as his comprehension grew. Strike travel is after all something the golden horned beast uses with its wings. Even though I've learnt it, the human body doesn't do it half as well as the golden horned beast. I have to continue to refine it. To suit the human body's usage. Luo Feng muttered to himself. Time passed and Luo Feng refined his techniques over and over within the cave. At this time, the official level Undying Fen Ya was drawing closer and closer using his ship. Within the quiet cave, fog engulfed the area. Luo Feng sat cross-legged. His consciousness was already connected to the virtual universe and he was studying his blade techniques in his own training grounds. Wielding the Blood Shadow Blade, he stood on a vast land and unleashed his blade work over and over, as countless Sector Lord Pinnacle warriors rushed from the sides, madly trying to kill him. Dutchman's Pipe. Pensive. Nightmare. Illusion. Burial. Hatred. World's End. The blade flashed, tearing through space. The many Sector Lord warriors were killed and the massacre was ongoing. This is not right. It doesn't feel right. Luo Feng waved his hand and roared. Stop! The countless Sector Lords rushing over all stopped. This was after all a simulation in the virtual universe. He walked to the stopped Sector Lords and frowned as he pondered. When I battled the 12 Undyings before, I always felt that my blade work was still lacking. Also, it has not reached my current level of law comprehension limit. With a thought, he brandished the Beast God armament shield. The first form of the armament, Beast God, descends. Luo Feng unleashed it and the 999 metal flakes instantly shot out of the shield, connecting with the virtual universe simulated laws. Countless gold threads interweaved between them, forming a huge Beast God projection. Its pressure was engulfing the area. This is a true perfect technique. Luo Feng looked up at the powerful Beast God projection. Even though it was just the first form, with just 999 metal flakes forming the technique, it was perfect and the Beast God projection had its own pressure. Perfection. When I use my blade work, it naturally melds with the Beast God projection, yet it doesn't have any of the pressure. Luo Feng shook his head. Maybe compared to my teacher Hu Yangbo, the techniques I created are already very powerful. However, compared to 11 Luo Duo, these are still too raw. How can I improve and break through? Luo Feng stood there silently. Under the gaze of countless Sector Lords, he looked up at the floating Beast God projection. Breakthrough. How do I do it? My golden horned beast is proficient in close combat. Can it only rely on that one crude sky-tearing claw? Is there no absolute technique like 11 Luo Duo's Beast God armament? Luo Feng gazed at the projection in the sky, trying to feel it thoroughly. Yet, it always seemed like a fog was clouding his view. Time passed. He pondered hard on how to refine his techniques and the beast's battle techniques. Actually, the golden horned beast's techniques were connected to his blade techniques. They were all considered close combat techniques. One relied on the beast's body itself and another on the blade, and the blade was considered an extension of one's body. Naturally, the two were linked. However, everything had to be created by himself. During the past 100 years, he did make some progress with his blade work. However, when battle truly ensued, he always felt his blade work still wasn't perfect enough. It wasn't capable of unleashing the strongest power of the Beast God presence. The moment it's perfected, my blade pressure will exceed the Beast God armament because I'm creating something that fits myself. As for the Beast God armament, it only fit 11 Luo Duo. Luo Feng had occasionally gone hunting over the past 100 years. 99% of the time, he still spent time studying the Beast God path and blade work along with battle techniques. Now, Luo Feng was immersed in this state. In the blink of an eye, 12 days had passed. Rumble. A 600-meter-tall pyramid ship tore through the skies and flew. Within that ship, Star-Eating Sector Lord. Star-Eating Sector Lord. The Kaewu Undying Fen Ya who was sitting in the alloy chair was burning with rage. Beside him were polygon-shaped hammers. It was clear that he used the same types of weapons as the fallen Long Suo. He hasn't moved at all. The position of the item hasn't moved at all. He said solemnly. Does he know of Long Suo's connection with me? Is he afraid of my revenge, hence he tossed it there when he found the item? If Luo Feng truly wanted to flee within the vast fog island, how could Fen Ya even begin to search for him? What's more, if Luo Feng simply moved on to the main Yangji continent, Fen Ya would have no way to look for him at all. No. No, he must be there, he must be. Fen Ya was worried and anxious within. He truly wanted to kill that despicable human and avenge his brother. He was afraid that the human would have tossed the item there and left. Then the chances of revenge would be extremely slim. The distance shrank. He must be there. Fen Ya gazed forward. Even with 100% simulation he could only see the distant fog. Luo Feng, we've discovered a dangerous target. He's flying alone in an automaton ship and is heading towards us. After scanning his appearance, it seems like he's from the Ka Wu race. Undyings mostly move together on Fog Island. But, for him to move alone, plus the fact that you killed the Ka Wu Undying before, there's a 90% chance that this target is Boulder of the 12 officials. Barbata reported to Luo Feng. Luo Feng, who sat cross-legged enshrouded in fog, opened his eyes. He's finally come. It'll take another hour for him to arrive. Barbata said. I've waited so long for him to finally come. Since my arrival on Fog Island 100 years ago, I've yet to fight with an official level Undying. Luo Feng nodded. I have some questions to solve about my blade work and the Golden Horned Beast's battle techniques. Maybe this will be a good chance to clarify everything. He instantly flew out of the cave and flew along the walls of the mountain, quickly reaching a quiet spot in the mountain range. There was a huge lake here. This lake on the peak had a diameter of tens of thousands of kilometers. It was simply unimaginable on Earth, however it was normal here on Fog Island. Water. Luo Feng sat by the lake, feeling the cold air around him. He extended his hand to pick up some water flowers. The bone-chilling cold instantly reached his entire body and he felt the chill, but of course this was something he could easily withstand. So cold. But it feels good. He sat there and smiled, playing with the water. After a while. Rumble. The pyramid swiftly tore through the skies and swiftly stopped in the air above the lake. Its high speed caused shockwaves that blew away the sand and rubble around, however the incredibly heavy and ice-cold lake simply rippled. A fiery red armored 12-meter-tall Ka Wu Undying stepped out of the door, and the pyramid vanishing beside him. He stood in the air above the lake, a formless pressure expanding throughout as the air around his body burned in flames that spread and covered over 10,000 kilometers in area. Wang. Luo Feng sat there playing with the water, expanding his world projection too. It clashed hard with the fire law domain as his body was unaffected. The icy cold water suddenly began to bubble. This lake that was over 100 times larger than all the seas of Earth combined began to boil. So boring. Luo Feng stood up. Rumble. He expanded his world projection and pushed back the fire law domain. The powerful projection completely suppressed the fire domain, and it was clear to see that the law domain was about to crumble. The official Undying Fen Ya standing over the lake snorted angrily. The seemingly normal fire domain suddenly began to change from within, almost like a group of struggling soldiers suddenly gaining order and discipline, causing the entire domain to gain more stability. Rumble. The world projection clashed over and over against the fire law domain. Even though Luo Feng was still more powerful, it was unable to completely suppress the enemy. Luo Feng looked shocked at the fire domain. This was the first time someone was able to withstand his world projection alone. According to what teacher said, one can put both space and time laws into their law domains. However, those Undyings would at least have to have the comprehension of the 9 universe tablets' 4th picture. Luo Feng frowned. Law domain, it's a gift of the universe laws itself. Natural law energies, when pressured, they are like straggling soldiers. However, the moment space laws are infused within, they become much stronger. Official level Undyings, they are indeed much stronger than the normal generals. You are the Star-Eating Sector Lord. A thick booming voice spoke with human language. Luo Feng looked up at him. You are Boulder? Ha ha, it's really you. Fen Ya's voice rumbled. My guess was right, you knew long ago I would be coming. Right. Luo Feng nodded. You've got guts. Fen Ya said seriously. You killed my tribe brother and guessed I would be coming, yet you dared to stay with the item I gave him. Should I thank you, or laugh at your stupidity? You've made me use effort to come and search for you. I'll make your death thrilling. Luo Feng flipped his hand and brandished his blood shadow blade as well as the 6-edged shield. A shield and a blade. Rumble. Both of their world projection and law domain clashed again. Even though Luo Feng's projection had the advantage, it didn't affect the battle too much. I've waited here for 12 days just for you. You sure are slow. I hope you don't disappoint me. A black armor appeared over Luo Feng's entire body. This battle would be the first time he got to truly fight against an official level Undying. He couldn't help but itch in anticipation. I won't disappoint you. Fen Ya gazed down at the tiny dot, both hands wielding green hammers. The surrounding areas were burning in glaring flames. Fog Island's 13 Tyrants. Star-eating sector Lord against Boulder, the two of them clashed. Strike travel. Luo Feng's eyes suddenly gleamed as he flashed, instantly leaving 3 winding orbits. It was almost like lightning as his speed reached a terrifying level, a glaring light simultaneously lit up with his blade. Go and die? Fen Yue roared too. The battle began instantly. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.